Ambassador James Walker stood at the viewing port of the Galactic Council station. Stars shone bright against the dark. 50 years had passed since humans first met aliens. Now Earth had a small but firm place among the stars. Walker sighed as he turned away from the view. His gray hair and lined face showed his 20 years as Earth's voice to the stars. At 62, he still stood tall in his blue diplomatic uniform. "Ambassador, the Valerian representative wants to delay the trade vote again," said Diane Miller, his young aide. Her dark eyes showed anger, though her voice stayed calm. Walker nodded. "Of course they do." The Valerian Empire ruled a third of known space. They had traveled the stars when humans still used horses. Their blue-skinned people looked down on all younger races. They called themselves peacekeepers. Walker called them bullies. "Show me the new trade numbers," he said. Diane handed him a datapad. "They're blocking our ships from the Centauri route." Again. Walker studied the numbers. This was the third time this year. The pattern was clear. The Valerian smiled to his face while putting up walls around human space. "They're afraid of us," Walker said quietly. "Afraid? They have 1,000 worlds. We have 12 colonies." Walker smiled. "But we grew from 1 world to 12 in 50 years. They took 1,000 years to do the same." He walked to his office, nodding to alien representatives as he passed. The council hall buzzed with 100 languages, translated by the small devices in each ear. In his office, Walker found a message waiting. He played it while Diane prepared his notes for the afternoon meeting. A hologram appeared, General Adams from Earth Defense. "James, our scouts found something. The Valerians are building up ships near Xelar. A lot of ships. Military ships. The council needs to know." Walker felt a chill. Xelar was a small farming world at the edge of human space. 10,000 colonists lived there. His brother's family had moved there last year. "Diane, add this to our complaint list for today's meeting." 3 hours later, Walker stood before the Galactic Council. 50 representatives sat in a half-circle. The Valerian ambassador, Lord Threk, sat in the largest chair. His blue skin seemed to glow under the lights, his 4 eyes watching Walker with cold interest. "The human ambassador may speak," said the council head, a small green alien named Pav. "The Valerian Empire is gathering warships near Xelar, a human colony world," Walker said clearly. "This breaks the peace treaty. We demand they withdraw." Lord Threk laughed, a sound like stones falling. "The young race sees threats everywhere. We are simply running exercises, as is our right." "Exercises need no warships," Walker argued. "Perhaps humans do not understand military readiness," Threk said. "We maintain peace through strength." The council muttered. Most feared the Empire too much to speak against it. "The council sees no treaty violation," Pav announced. "Next matter." Walker's hands tightened, but his face stayed calm. As he returned to his seat, Diane whispered, "This isn't right." "No," Walker agreed, "and they'll keep pushing until someone pushes back." That night, Walker received orders from Earth. He was to visit Xelar himself, show the flag, calm the colonists. As his ship prepared to leave, he watched the Valerian ships in dock. They were loading weapons, not trade goods. "They're planning something," he told Diane as their ship pulled away, "and the council is too blind to see it." He didn't know then that his diplomatic life was about to end, and that human fury was about to change the galaxy forever. Ambassador Walker's ship reached Xelar 3 days later. The small planet looked peaceful from orbit, its green lands and blue oceans shining in the light of its yellow sun. "Beautiful," Diane said as they looked at the main screen. Walker nodded. "Reminds me of Earth before the big cities spread." His ship, the Olive Branch *, moved into orbit. It was not a warship. It carried no heavy weapons. It was a diplomat's vessel, meant to show trust. "Ambassador, incoming message from the colony," the communications officer said. The screen changed to show a man with a worried face. Tom Reed, the colony leader. Ambassador Walker, thank God you're here. The Valerian ships have been scanning us for days. They won't answer our calls. Walker frowned. How many ships? 7 that we can see. Big ones. Too many for simple exercises. Walker felt his worry grow. I'll speak with them, he promised. My brother, is his family well? Tom nodded. They're fine. They're at the North Farm settlement. Walker relaxed slightly. Good. Now let me deal with our unwelcome visitors. He ordered his communications officer to hail the Valerian ships. No answer came. Keep trying, he said. I need to make a report to Earth. He had just reached his cabin when alarms blared throughout the ship. Ambassador to the bridge. His captain's voice called over the speakers. Walker ran back. On the main screen, he saw flashes of light. The Valerian ships had opened fire, not on his ship, but on the planet below. They're hitting the colony center, Diane cried. Walker watched in horror as bright beams cut into the planet's surface. Fire bloomed where the colony's main town had been. His hands gripped the edge of a console until his knuckles turned white. Get me Earth, now, he ordered, his voice deadly calm. As his crew scrambled to send emergency messages, more Valerian ships appeared from behind Sailor's Moon. The colony stood no chance. Ambassador, we're picking up Valerian communications, his intelligence officer reported. They're not encrypting them. They want us to hear, Walker realized. Play it. A cold voice filled the bridge. Phase 1 complete. Human response as expected, none. Begin landing troops. Test their defenses fully. Lord Threk wants complete data on human military capabilities. Walker's face turned to stone. This isn't a peacekeeping mission. It's a test. They're studying us, like lab animals. The olive branch shook as a light warning shot passed near its hull. Message from the Valerian commander, the communications officer said. They order us to leave or be destroyed. They say they're conducting authorized peacekeeping operations against terrorist cells. Terrorists. Diane's voice broke. There are farmers down there. Walker watched as more beams struck the planet. His brother was down there. Families. Children. Captain, can we fight? He asked quietly. The captain shook his head. This is a diplomatic vessel, sir. We'd last seconds. Walker closed his eyes briefly. When he opened them, they burned with a fury none of his crew had ever seen. Then we'll fight another way. Record everything. Every shot. Every message. His voice hardened. The Empire thinks they know humans. They've never seen what we become when pushed too far. As the olive branch moved away, Walker didn't take his eyes off the screen. The peaceful diplomat was gone. In his place stood a man transformed by rage and purpose. Take us back to the council, he ordered. I have something to say to Lord Threk. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with voices when Ambassador Walker entered. News of the attack on Xeelar had reached them, but most believed the Empire's story about terrorists. Walker had not slept during the 3-day journey back. Dark circles marked his eyes, but his steps were firm. Lord Threk sat in his large chair, his blue face showing no concern. His 4 eyes narrowed when he saw Walker. The Council recognizes the Valerian Empire, announced Pav, the Council head. Lord Threk will address the recent peacekeeping operation. Walker's hands tightened into fists as Threk stood. The Empire regrets any loss of innocent life on Xeelar, Threk said, his voice smooth. But we had clear evidence of dangerous elements planning attacks on Empire ships. Our response was necessary and proper. Walker could stay silent no longer. He stepped forward before being called. Ambassador Walker, you are out of order, Pav warned. So is the murder of 10,000 colonists, Walker replied, his voice carrying through the chamber. The room fell silent. He walked to the center of the floor, breaking centuries of protocol. Guards moved forward but stopped when Walker raised his hand. I have something to show the Council. He activated a small device. Above him, images appeared. Valerian ships firing on the colony. Homes burning. The intercepted messages about testing human defenses. These are not the actions of peacekeepers, Walker said. These are the actions of conquerors, of bullies who mistake patience for weakness. Lord Threck rose. This human speaks lies and half-truths. He has no IHV note HFY and ISHED, Walker thundered. The force in his voice shocked everyone. Even Threck fell silent. Walker looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of each representative. Today I do not speak just for Earth. I speak for every smaller world that the Empire has pushed around, every species they have tested and provoked, every peaceful colony they have watched with hungry eyes. He played more recordings, secret Empire plans found in their unencrypted messages, plans for more tests against other worlds. The Empire has not just killed innocent humans, Walker continued, his voice now deadly calm. They have killed peace itself. The chamber erupted in noise as representatives realized what the Empire had planned for their worlds too. Ambassador Walker, what does Earth demand? Asked Pav, unable to hide his fear. Walker turned to face Lord Threck directly. I offer one chance. Withdraw all Empire forces from contested territories within 30 days. Make full payment to the families of those murdered on Xelar. Face trial for war crimes before this council. Threck laughed, a harsh sound. Or what, human? Your 12 colonies against our 1,000 worlds. Your handful of ships against our fleets. Walker smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Or you will face humanity unleashed, Lord Threck. You study us like specimens. You test our patience. You think you know what humans are capable of. He stepped closer to the Valerian, dropping his voice so only those nearby could hear. You have no idea what we become when pushed too far. You wanted to test human capabilities. In 30 days, if you do not meet our terms, you will see them firsthand. He turned and walked out, leaving stunned silence behind him. In his quarters, Walker received an urgent message from Earth. His government was in panic. You gave an ultimatum without authorization. What have you done? Walker looked at the latest news from Xelar. His brother's family had been among the first killed. What I've done, he replied, is start what the Empire finished. And God help them when we answer. Emergency lights flashed across Earth's military command center. News of Walker's ultimatum had reached every corner of human space. Government leaders shouted at each other through video screens. He had no right, yelled the Prime Minister of Earth. One diplomat cannot declare war. General Robert Adams watched quietly from his seat. When the shouting died down, he stood up. Walker didn't declare war, Adams said. The Empire did that when they attacked Xelar. The room fell silent. Adams was not known for speaking much. But when he did, people listened. For 20 years, we've been preparing, he continued. While our diplomats smiled and shook hands, we built. While the Empire thought we were playing with toys, we created weapons they can't imagine. He pressed a button on the table. A three-dimensional map appeared, showing hundreds of small dots spread across space. These are our hidden ships, stealth vessels with technology we never shared with the Council. Ships that the Empire's sensors cannot detect. The leaders stared in shock. You built a secret fleet? Asked the Prime Minister. Adams nodded. We hoped never to need it. But we aren't fools. The Empire has pushed and tested every new race they've met. Eventually, they crushed them all. How many ships? Someone asked. 500 combat-ready vessels. Another 300 in final preparation. The defense minister shook his head in disbelief. How did you hide this from the Council? From the Empire. Adams smiled slightly. By letting them think we're weaker than we are. By showing them farm equipment while we built warships in hidden bases beyond their scanning range. On the station, Ambassador Walker faced his own storm. Diane paced his office, her face pale. Earth is in chaos, she said. Half the government wants you recalled. The other half wants to run and hide. Walker didn't look up from his desk. "And what does General Adams say?" Diane stopped pacing. "How did you know I spoke to him?" "Because he and I have planned for this day for 15 years, Walker replied. "The diplomat and the soldier, preparing for when diplomacy failed." He showed her a secure tablet. On it, military orders flashed by, ship movements, troop deployments, activation codes. "While I've been talking peace, Adams has been preparing for war," Walker explained. "Not because we wanted it, because we knew the Empire would force it on us eventually." Across human space, hidden bases powered up. Ships that appeared to be simple cargo vessels transformed, revealing weapons systems far beyond what the Empire believed humans possessed. Walker spent his days meeting with representatives from other species. Many feared the Empire but feared standing against it more. "Join us," he told them. "Not to destroy the Empire, but to create a new balance, one where no species stands above others." Some agreed. The Proteans, with their advanced technology. The Trell, with their warrior culture. Even the peaceful Novan, whose worlds the Empire had stripped of resources. 20 days after the ultimatum, Walker received a message from Lord Threk. "Your demands are rejected," Threk said, his blue face confident on the screen. "The Empire will teach humans their proper place. We have begun by removing another of your colonies from disputed territory." Walker's face showed no surprise. "Which colony?" "The mining outpost on Vega IV. Consider it a small lesson." After Threk's image vanished, Walker made 2 calls. First to Adams. "They've hit Vega IV. It's time." The second call went to the Protean ambassador. "They've attacked again. Are your people ready?" The countdown to the deadline continued, but human ships were already moving into position. The Empire had mistaken human restraint for weakness. That mistake would cost them everything. Lord Threk stood before the Emperor, his head bowed. The Emperor's chamber was dark, lit only by floating lights that cast blue shadows across the vast room. "These humans are more trouble than expected," the Emperor said, his voice like dry leaves. "Fix this problem." Threk. "Yes, my Emperor," Threk replied. "I have already begun." Across the galaxy, the Empire's message machines worked at full power. On 1,000 worlds, people heard the same story. Humans were dangerous. Humans wanted war. The Empire protected peace. In the council chamber, Threk spoke with smooth confidence. "The human ambassador threatens the peace we all value," he told the gathered representatives. "Earth hides dangerous weapons. They plan to attack peaceful worlds." Some believed him. Many did not. But fear kept most silent. Outside the chamber, Threk met with ambassadors from smaller worlds. He offered some trade deals. He reminded others how easily the Empire's ships could reach their home planets. "Support the Empire in the Council vote tomorrow," he told them, "or find new trading partners." Ambassador Walker knew what Threk was doing. 2 could play that game. "Diane," he said to his aide, "arrange meetings with every representative who spoke with Threk today." "What will you offer them?" she asked. Walker smiled. "The truth, and something the Empire never gives: respect." That night, as Walker slept in his quarters, alarms blared. 4 shadows moved through the dark hallways of the station. They carried weapons not allowed in the diplomatic zone. The station's security system detected them too late. They reached Walker's door and placed a small device on it. The lock clicked open. Inside, Walker's bed was empty. "Looking for me?" came a voice from behind them. The 4 attackers turned to find Walker standing in the doorway. He wore only sleek clothes, but he didn't look afraid. "The Empire sends assassins now." Walker asked, "How desperate you must be." The attackers raised their weapons. Before they could fire, the lights flashed bright. Security officers swarmed the hallway. "I've been expecting you," Walker told the captured assassins as they were led away. "Tell Lord Threk he'll need to try harder." By morning, news of the failed assassination attempt had spread. Many who feared standing with humans now reconsidered. If the Empire would break sacred diplomatic rules, what other rules would they break? Lord Threk denied everything. The humans staged this to gain sympathy, he claimed. But doubt had taken root. Walker's calm response to nearly being killed impressed many representatives. Threk needed to regain control. He called the Empire Fleet Commander. The humans are gathering too many allies, he said. We need to remind everyone of our power. What are your orders? The commander asked. Attack the Procyon trading post at Rigel. Make it look like humans did it. The commander looked uncertain. The Procyans have advanced technology. They've remained neutral so far. Exactly, said Threk. If they believe humans attacked them, they'll turn against Earth. And if they suspect us, but do nothing, others will see that even the mighty Procyans fear the Empire. 3 days later, Procyon representatives stormed into the council chamber, their silver skin flushed dark with anger. Our trading post at Rigel has been attacked, their leader announced. 37 Procyans dead. All eyes turned to Walker. Humans had nothing to do with this attack, Walker said calmly. We know, the Procyon leader replied, surprising everyone. Our sensors recorded everything. Empire ships with fake human markings. Lord Threk froze in his seat. The Procyon leader faced the council. The Procyon Federation now formally allies with Earth against the Empire. Threk had made a fatal mistake. The Empire's plan had backfired completely. The countdown to Walker's deadline continued. 5 days remaining. The final day of Walker's ultimatum arrived. The Galactic Council chamber was packed. Species that normally sent minor representatives had sent their leaders. Everyone knew today would change the galaxy forever. Lord Threk arrived with a full guard of blue-skinned warriors. He looked confident, but his lower eyes twitched, a sign of stress in Valerians. The human deadline expires today, announced Pav, the council head. Ambassador Walker, what say you? Walker stood. He looked different. Gone was the friendly diplomat in blue robes. Today he wore a simple black uniform with a small Earth symbol on the collar. His face showed no emotion. 30 days ago, I gave the Empire a choice, Walker said, his voice carrying to every corner of the room. They have made their decision. He turned to face Lord Threk directly. We came to the stars in peace. We extended our hands in friendship. The Empire mistook this for submission. Walker's voice hardened. Today, that misconception ends. Threk laughed. Words, human. Only words. The Empire has positioned our fleets around your colonies. Surrender now, and some of your people might live. Walker didn't react. Instead, he tapped a small device on his wrist. General Adams, you may begin. Throughout the chamber, representatives gasped as their personal screens lit up with urgent messages from their homeworlds. The Empire's military stations were under attack. All of them. At the same time, Threk's communicator beeped frantically. His 4 eyes widened as he read the incoming reports. Impossible, he whispered. Walker's voice remained calm. 500 human ships just came out of stealth. Another 300 from our allies. Your sensors never detected them because they were already in position. Have been for weeks. On screens throughout the chamber, representatives watched as human vessels appeared seemingly from nowhere. They struck with surgical precision, targeting military installations while avoiding civilian areas. Where did these ships come from? Demanded Threk, his voice shaking. We built them while you weren't looking, Walker replied. While you thought we were making farm equipment and trade vessels, we were preparing for this day. The day the Empire went too far. Reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Empire defense systems failed against weapons they had never seen before. Human ships moved in patterns that confused Empire targeting computers. You cannot win. Threk shouted, but fear filled his voice. We have more ships, more soldiers. Numbers mean nothing without intelligence, Walker said. Your ships are fighting an enemy they cannot see or understand. The council watched in stunned silence as the mighty Empire forces fell into chaos. Human strategies proved impossible to counter. Empire commanders surrendered rather than waste more lives against an enemy they couldn't defeat. The chamber's main screen showed the Empire's largest military base. It had fallen in less than an hour. "This is what you wanted to test on Xelar," Walker told Threk. "Human military capability. Now you have your answer." 7 hours after it began, the fighting stopped. The Empire's military had been systematically dismantled across the galaxy, not destroyed, disabled. "We could have killed them all," Walker explained to the shocked council. "But humans are not like the Empire. We do not destroy what we can reform." Threk stood frozen, unable to comprehend how quickly his world had changed. Walker addressed the entire council. "The Empire's reign of fear ends today. Tomorrow, we build something better." As emergency calls flooded in from the Emperor himself, Threk realized the truth. His empire had fallen in a single day, defeated by a species they had underestimated completely. The human fury had been unleashed, and the galaxy would never be the same. 1 month after the 7-hour war, the Galactic Council met in a new chamber. The old one had been too small for all the species now sending representatives. Many who had hidden in fear of the Empire now stepped forward to help build something new. Ambassador Walker entered without fanfare. He looked tired but satisfied. The past month had been filled with emergency meetings, peace talks, and rebuilding plans. "The Council recognizes Ambassador Walker of Earth," announced Pav, who remained as council head. Walker nodded to the gathered representatives. "I bring news from the Empire homeworld. The Emperor has stepped down. Lord Threk has been removed from all positions of power." Murmurs spread through the chamber. No one had expected the Empire to change from within. "A new government has formed," Walker continued. "They wish to send a representative to this council, not as rulers, but as equals." Some representatives objected. The Empire had hurt many worlds. Trust would not come easily. Walker raised his hand for quiet. "I understand your concerns. The Empire must earn back trust. But we must give them that chance, or we become what we fought against." In the weeks that followed, Walker worked without rest. Though Earth's military now stood as the strongest force in known space, he refused to let humans take the Empire's place as galaxy bullies. "We need a new system," he told Diane as they prepared for another long meeting. "One that protects all species, large and small." Diane looked at her mentor with concern. "You need rest, Ambassador. You've hardly slept since Xelar." Walker's eyes darkened at the mention of the colony. "I'll rest when this is done." 10 days later, Walker presented his plan to the Council. He called it the Galactic Charter. "First, all species will have equal voice in this council, regardless of how many worlds they control," he explained. "Second, all military forces must be registered and limited. No more hidden fleets, not even human ones." The charter included protections for developing worlds, rules against attacking civilian targets, and systems to resolve conflicts before they turn to war. "The Empire ruled through fear," Walker told the Council. "We will build a galaxy based on mutual respect." Most representatives approved the plan. Some called it the Walker Doctrine. Others simply called it common sense. 6 months after the war, Walker visited the rebuilt colony on Xelar. Green fields had replaced burned ruins. New homes stood where old ones had fallen. At the center of the main town, a memorial listed the names of those lost in the Empire's attack. Walker found his brother's family on that list. He stood before the memorial in silence, head bowed. An old man approached him. "You're the ambassador, aren't you? The one who changed everything." Walker nodded. "My grandchildren can play outside without fear now," the old man said. "The whole galaxy breathes easier because of what you did." Walker looked across the peaceful fields. "I didn't want war. I tried for 20 years to prevent it. But when it came, you were ready," the old man said. "That's why we survived." As the sun set over Xelar, Walker thought about the future. Earth ships now patrolled trade routes once controlled by the Empire. Human technology was helping rebuild worlds the Empire had damaged. We didn't want to show the galaxy our fury, Walker said quietly to himself. But now that they've seen it, we must show them something greater, our wisdom. The diplomat's anger had changed the galaxy. Now his compassion would rebuild it.